Urban Elegance are going to present their proposal for some traffic lights, which is intriguing because it really mixes culture and utility and challenges everybody's ideas about everything.
Hello, my name is Holly Newman and this is Joseph Jones. We are both second-year Global Innovation Design students based here in London. Together we make up the Hojo design team. My background is in biological sciences and Joe is a mechanical engineer. With our project, we decided to approach the design of traffic lights. So traffic lights are an integral part of urban infrastructure, serving as a visual signal to regulate vehicle and pedestrian flow. However, traditional traffic light designs, like many objects we engage with every day, are extremely utilitarian and fail to engage and enhance the surrounding environment. But what if we could turn the mundane into art? What if an everyday object like a traffic light became a spectacle, became an experience? Today, we'd like to introduce our interplay design concept, set to revitalize pedestrian crossings.
The Hojo mobile traffic lights. In a sentence, our design is Caldair Mobile meets pedestrian crossing with the elegant timed motion of an orrery planetarium. The traffic lights feature sleek and contemporary designs with an emphasis on minimalist aesthetics that enhance motion. The structure uses lightweight materials such as aluminium alloy to allow for effortless motion and easy installation. These lights illuminate the surroundings with a spectrum of colors, creating an engaging and visually appealing experience for commuters and pedestrians alike. The shapes on the outermost arms arranged to form the classic green walking man figure, which lights up green to indicate for people to cross. When pedestrians have been given enough time to cross, these lights turn red and the shapes making up the green man split apart again. The structure is intended to be hung by wires over the center of a pedestrian crossing, so the traffic and pedestrians alike will pass underneath it.
So core to our design concept were the ideas of whimsy, utility, and motion. We wanted to challenge the notion that functional designs cannot be fun and playful. We didn't want to completely lose sight of said function. However, we wanted to enhance the way people would interact with the design. Finally, we were interested in how the movement could be incorporated into the design itself, so it mirrored the pedestrians while simultaneously guiding them. We were inspired by the concept of mobiles, particularly drawn to their delicate natural motion, which evokes the sense of swaying tree branches. These branches appear to dance gently in the breeze, creating a sense of organic movement, as if they're moving to their own accord. The imagery is further enhanced by the incorporation of abstract shapes, which adds a layer of visual intrigue and complexity to the overall design. These shapes vary in size and form, creating a dynamic and ever-changing visual experience.
So another major point of inspiration was the clockwork motion of orrery planetariums. These scale models of our solar system use complex gearing to simulate the relative motion of the planets. So we used similar clockwork to achieve the precise timed motion of our mobile. A series of nested vertical shafts allow for the mobile rings to hang down beneath the gearbox, so the main profile of the structure is not disturbed by the bulky gearbox and motor. There are also two gears at the start of the gearbox that are intentionally missing teeth. This allows for one set of arms to rotate while the other set remains stationary without the need to stop the motor or for additional motors. We think that these intricate clockwork mechanisms can be quite beautiful in their own right. So we decided to use transparent materials for the gearbox so that an outside observer can peer into the inner workings. The final design concept, we tried to utilize both whimsy and motion to create a truly avant-garde experience. Here we go. Perfect. The outer shapes arranged to form the classic green walking man figure, which lights up green to indicate for people to cross. At the same time, the central arms of the mobile begin to spin. The structure is intended to be hung by wires over the center of a pedestrian crossing, so that traffic and pedestrians both pass underneath it. the mobile becomes more kinetic during the part of the crossing cycle in which pedestrians will be crossing directly underneath, giving them a close-up view of the visual spectacle. Once time has been given for pedestrians to cross, the green walking man figure turns red and deconstructs by parts into its minimalist pieces. This triggers the central arms to stop rotating. In this way, the pedestrians move only during the most kinetic parts of the mobile's motion and are stopped waiting along with the mobile when it turns red. This mirroring of movements is intended so that the pedestrian motion becomes part of the overall piece itself. This design enhances the visual appeal of urban environments, transforming mundane intersections into captivating public spaces that create a sense of anticipation and awe in onlookers. Obviously, there are a few safety concerns with our current design. There's some level of ambiguity as to who is being directed by the mobile and at what times. So to alleviate this, in future developments, we would incorporate other recognizable symbols to make this more clear. We would also have our design placed alongside traditional traffic lights for further clarity and to promote the process of learning, as this is a new system that requires that process.
So in terms of practicality, we thought about trialing this sculpture in Hyde Park to create an engaging signage for park cyclists and pedestrians. We thought this was a low-risk environment where we can trial and further refine the idea and interactions to make it clear for all parties involved.
In some cultures, specific colours have different meanings, which can be incorporated into signage to resonate more deeply with local populations. Additionally, the use of traditional art forms or motifs in signage can create a sense of place and reflect the local community's identity. For example, a signage system inspired by Aboriginal art styles in Australia, or incorporating the vibrant colour schemes found in Indian marketplaces. Such designs not only serve the functional purpose, but also celebrate and acknowledge the local culture, making the sign more engaging and more meaningful to the local community. To further illustrate the idea that this is a new system that requires some learning, there is a picture of how traffic used to be directed. And even with the conception of the modern thought of traffic signals, there was still a time where a person had to direct the traffic alongside the traffic signals because people did not trust the signals by themselves. And then looking towards the future as well, with the rise of autonomous vehicles, some of these safety concerns may be mitigated because the control systems within the vehicles can be linked to a traffic control network. And so the vehicle will know when to stop at crossings and junctions without a visual signal to the driver. This would allow us to direct all visual signals that are part of our mobile towards pedestrians, thus simplifying the amount of information needed to be conveyed. So, to recap, our design is Kaldare Mobile meets pedestrian crossing with the precise timed motion of orrery planetariums. With it, we hope to conceive of a future where the mundane becomes art and everyday objects become an experience. Thank you. Any questions?
And you were traveling somewhere where you found inspiration. Could you speak more about that?
Yeah, so we were recently in Tokyo, in Shibuya, and there's a really famous crossing there, Shibuya Crossing, where you sort of line up in this huge mass movement of people all at once when the lights change. So we really wanted to sort of capture that feeling of anticipation as you're waiting for those lights to change, and you can see sort of this huge group of people forming up on the other side, and then this huge group forming up alongside you as well. And so there's this real sense of anticipation as you're sort of waiting to cross. We wanted to create a design that captured and enhanced that sort of feeling. Thank you. Anyone else?
I think you're looking at the future with autonomous vehicles is quite crucial. There's so much change with AI and artifacts, knowing where they are and who they're reacting with. The problems of safety and traffic can be mitigated in some ways by our systems. But you would need to really look into that and research the whole signalling rationale and system in place, and So there's a little bit of homework to do, isn't there?
Yes, 100%. Yes, definitely. I think it's a process, sort of learning how to best incorporate this and what makes the most sense to people. Because at the moment it's purely conceptual. It would be really good to sort of have a place to experiment with it and try out different things to be able to learn and improve.
Be for the cars and the people, or is it just really for the people?
So this current design is for the pedestrians. So that's why it's sort of it's green as just the people are crossing. But I think in future iterations, it would be good to sort of incorporate those other symbols, like we mentioned on one of the slides, that would then make it more clear when the rest of the traffic flow is to go as well.
For the visually impaired, because I never think of traffic lights. If you're visually impaired, there's not much signal to say to move anyway. So perhaps this could be a new approach to make that more accessible for visually impaired.
Yeah, we were actually discussing with Alec the other day as well about incorporating sort of a jingle into sort of as the traffic lights change. So you kind of have that at the moment with the traffic light systems where it beeps, but making it sort of more whimsical, sort of plays a tune perhaps rather than a beep. And that sort of links back into our trip in Tokyo. So each of the stations there has its own unique jingle, and that perhaps could even help people in navigating if they're visually impaired, like you said. Yeah, you know exactly where you are based on the song you hear, perhaps. Yeah.
Explorers got more time then.
Thank you.
Can I also ask that if you have you worked out the budget to actually create that size scale of it?
Yes, so this is roughly 2 meters across was the original, budgeted scale, and I think it was within the 8,000, I think about £4,000 total to create roughly. But I need to sort of look into that in more detail, but it should be well within the budget given yet. So I've done all of the gearing gearbox design already, so it does this model does turn with the relative motion that you saw in the animation. That's all accurate to how it would actually turn.
Lighting up the panels, how are they lit up? Are they LED, LCD, or LED?
LEDs, yes, within clear acrylic or perspex.
Okay, if there's no more questions.
Thank you very much.